Welcome to Mysteries to Solve.
Somewhere in an evidence locker in California, there's a letter that no one has ever fully decoded. It was written by a man who murdered at least 5 people, and then bragged about it to the police in his own handwriting, signed with a symbol instead of a name. He called himself the Zodiac, and more than 50 years later, he has never been caught. Stick around, because by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the 3 suspects investigators believe came closest to being him, and the one clue that still keeps this case alive today.
Let's go back to December 1968, Vallejo, California. A teenage couple, out on a quiet lover's lane, is approached by a car. What happens next becomes the opening chapter of one of the most infamous unsolved cases in American history. Within months, more attacks follow. Always young couples, always isolated spots, always at night. Some victims survive, some don't. But what makes this killer different from every other case police had seen before is what happens after the attacks. He starts writing letters.
In the summer of 1969, 3 California newspapers each receive an identical letter. Inside, a detailed confession and a cipher split into 3 parts that the killer claims will reveal his identity if solved. He demands the letters be printed on the front page, or he'll go on a killing spree. The papers publish them. A local school teacher and his wife crack part of the code within days. But instead of a name, it reveals something colder: the killer's twisted reasoning for why he kills. He signs off with a symbol that would define the case forever, a circle with a cross through it, the Zodiac symbol. For the next several years, he keeps writing, to newspapers, to police, even directly to a local news anchor, always taunting, always staying one step ahead. And here's the detail that still gives investigators chills. In 2020, a team of amateur codebreakers actually solved one of his ciphers, 51 years after it was written. It didn't reveal his name, but it proved something important. This killer wanted to be remembered.
So who was he? Over the decades, investigators have looked at hundreds of persons of interest. Let's talk about the 3 names that come up again and again. Suspect 1, a local man with a documented history of violence who lived close to several of the crime scenes and reportedly matched physical descriptions given by surviving victims. Handwriting analysts have gone back and forth for decades on whether his writing matches the letters. Suspect 2, a drifter connected to another unsolved California case whose name surfaced through witness tips but was never definitively tied to physical evidence. Suspect 3, a man investigated intensely in the 2000s after amateur researchers built a circumstantial case around his background and behavior. But DNA testing on available evidence was inconclusive, and law enforcement never filed charges. Here's the uncomfortable truth true crime fans have had to accept. DNA and fingerprint evidence from this case is partial, degraded, or contested. No suspect has ever been definitively confirmed, which is exactly why the case remains officially open today.
This case broke in an era before national databases, before DNA testing, before agencies easily shared information across jurisdictions. Multiple counties were investigating pieces of the same killer without a unified system to connect them. Add to that a killer who seemed to actively study police procedure and press coverage to stay ahead of investigators, and you get one of the rare cases where the criminal appears to have outmaneuvered the system in real time. To this day, cold case investigators in California still receive tips. Cipher solvers around the world still pick apart that final unsolved section of code. And somewhere, the truth is sitting in a file, waiting. If this case fascinates you as much as it fascinates me, hit subscribe, because next week, I'm breaking down more stories to come. Drop your own theory in the comments. Who do you think the Zodiac really was?